G'day guys, welcome back to the channel. I'm David and today I'm going to do this first styling on this liquid amber tree. This is the first deciduous tree that I've tried playing with. So yeah, I'm in uncharted territory, but it's grown a bit out of control. In fact, today when I went to pick this pot up off the ground, the roots had escaped the pot, which probably explains the vigorous growth from the last few months. But anyway, first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to get it out of the pot. Just going to have a bit of a dig around the top of the roots. I'm not going to disturb the roots too much. I'm going to leave that for sort of end of winter when it starts to come out of dormancy again. But I just want to see if there's any features just under the ground. Then I'm going to defoliate the tree so that I can see exactly what's going on with the branches, and we'll make some branch selections and go from there. So first thing, try and get it out of its pot. Looks like it could probably actually do with being slip potted up into a bigger pot, but I don't really want to go too much bigger on the pot size if I can help it. Got a couple of really low branches here that are not going to be used. We could leave them as sacrifice branches maybe, but it's probably better. From what I understand with deciduous trees, the wounds... Anybody want a rooster? Sell you one cheap. With deciduous trees, the wounds don't heal as well as on other trees that have like rougher textured bark. Now, these things have fairly smooth bark and the wounds tend to stay visible for a long time. So we want to try and remove most of the branches when they're as small as possible if we can, or try and hide the scars as best we can. Which is why I need to work out where the front of this tree is. That way I can try and hide some of the scars to the back of the tree. So we do actually have some nice strong roots radiating straight out from the trunk, which is pretty cool. So they'll continue to develop and grow. If we look from this way, not including that, you actually have a nice little bit of flare in the trunk here. Nice root going this way. Nice root going that way. And we can certainly develop more roots off to the side. So that'll give us, in a shallow pot, that'll give us a nice root base if we focus on them. Now I'm not going to go crazy pruning roots today. Like I said, I'm going to leave that for another day. But I need to make some styling decisions. Now if that's going to be our front, because it's probably less scarring from this side. See, that has a nice flare to it as well down the bottom. No substantial roots just here, but we could probably develop something there. Nice root out that side. We could probably go with either side. This one will have a couple of scars though. I wonder if maybe we look at that side. Get rid of that root there for now. So we could go either way. We'll have a look at the branch structure and see if there's a particular direction that looks better as far as branching goes. But to do that, I think to save myself some time, anything from probably here up, I don't even know if you can see that on the camera, is probably never going to be in the finished tree. We may even come back somewhere to here, possibly, unsure. Because we've got this weird thing here where the trunk sort of splits into two. It's going to be very difficult to make that look any good. How will we trim that off? Actually, we may even... see if we made that the front, we've got a nice thick branch, we've got a nice thick root out the front here, one out the side. Can develop something off this side. It's got a nice flare. See, that's what I don't like, where it splits into two. I might not even need to defoliate this if I make some major decisions straight up. Like that. See, a scar like that will be not really even visible from the front. Over time, you can't see an actual scar, and that should just all blend in over time if we decide that that's going to be our continuation of the trunk. If it is, I would probably take this and wire it down and out a little. They seem pretty flexible. I don't know how flexible they really are. I wonder if we could try and wire that down like that. And if it doesn't look any good, it might look all right. To get rid of that curve in there, we could utilise one of these branches, cut that off, but I might try and wire that down. Still a bit hard to see what's going on, really, isn't it? There's a branch off the back. It's probably too low. I'll ditch that. Two branches there. Neither of them are much chop. Unless we were to use one of them as a new leader. Right, I think I know what I'm going to do. I'm not going to defoliate it, forget what I said. I can see enough of what I want to do. I've got this here. As long as I keep it under control, keep it trimmed back, stop it from growing too big and getting too thick, that should make an alright first branch. These two ones here, they're both heading out that same way. Don't want them. Cut them off while they're nice and small, no issue. I have a branch here coming out this side. There could be a second branch out this side, and it's where the trunk is tapering back that way anyway. I've got this one here that's sort of on the front there. I reckon if I cut that on a slant so you can't really see the scar, and wire that one to go up as the new leader, we'll be able to develop some taper in the trunk. And I don't know if we'll be able to put much bend in that. I think what we've got is what we've got pretty much. So I'll cut it off fairly high. Wow. Sure just what the best tool for that job is going to be. Don't really want to damage. Might have to put a battery in it, eh? Righto, we'll try and angle that away without doing too much damage. Jeepers. Probably need a shorter blade for that, I reckon. Remember that for next time. Might not, I won't trim that back too close. Just in case it does die back at all. Don't have anything to anchor this on, which is a bit of a pain. I'll anchor it on the root. Probably don't need to go all that far out there, do I? Because I might even trim that back. Man, I have no clue what I'm doing, eh? Oh, no idea, no idea. Glad I can reuse this wire for pot screens and shit, because I waste a lot. So we'll wire that one up. Maybe back that way a little. And then back that way. And that can be our new leader. Once that sets into place, we're going to take the wire off, and that one can be let to go, and that should thicken up over time, and there won't be such a step down from that to that. It'll become more tapered. This branch here, for a tree this size, probably doesn't want a lot more thickness than that, so I don't know too much about deciduous stuff, but I reckon you're probably going to want to keep it pruned fairly well back and keep the growth under control a bit. We're not going to want that growth all the way out here either. We've sort of got branches coming out this way now. I reckon I can take it back to there. And if I want, I could take either of those. There's two shoots coming off there. I might leave those two for now, and I'll see which one of them grows the best. And I might try and get it to branch back this way a little too. But it may back bud on that as well. I don't really know. I don't know, I'll have a look from back here, see if there's anything else we need to do. I would like to try and get this down a little bit more without breaking it. It might need a little bit of help. So, just trying to work out where I can run a guy wire to without damaging the bark at all. I was going to try and run it through a little gap just under there, but that might end up damaging the bark. Just want to be able to keep it down. It doesn't need to be down that far, but I reckon that'll spring back again when we take it off. The only other thing I could do is to run another wire. Might try that. So if you're going to throw a second wire on these, just be careful that you don't cross over any wires that you've already got there, or you'll risk doing damage. But now, right, now we can bend it back into a better shape. How many of these I end up using, I don't know. Right, yeah, and that's pretty much going to be it. I'm just going to whack that back in its pot. This will be the front of the tree. A pretty good start on a primary branch out this side. Scars are all hidden on the back. That'll be your second branch out that way. New leader, it'll be let to grow. And hopefully we're on our way. That should be the front of the tree. So that wasn't as hard as I thought. I just, I just hope that's sort of the correct thing to do with deciduous trees, because I got no idea. But we're sort of end of January now. We've probably got February, March, April, probably May. At least 4 months of growing season. I reckon this thing will just take off now, especially if I slip pot it into a bigger pot. Should I do that? I don't know. For now, I'll just tickle the roots out, whack it back in the pot it was in, maybe lift it up a little bit so it's got a bit of fresh dirt underneath it. And I'll sit it back on the ground. It'll probably grow through the bottom of the pot and take off again anyway. My first deciduous tree, liquid amber. Stay tuned, we'll come back in a few months and see how it's going. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you on the next one.